are we truly pushing the boundaries of what play can be? Are we actually looking at all of the various types of human experience and allowing people to rehearse and play with the ideas around them? The answer to that question comes in our work. So I'm going to show some of the work that's come out of the lab. This is a game called Cloud. Has anybody played this game? A couple of people have played this game. So this is one of the earliest games to come out of the lab. This is also free, by the way. And the question that we asked with this one was, can we evoke through gameplay the sort of simple wonder and awe that everyone has felt on a beautiful summer day when you look up in the sky and you see the clouds and they're moving with the wind and you think, well, if only that one little formation would push over here, then I would have, that would be a turtle, right? Wouldn't that be great? You just sort of lay back and watch that. And we wanted to evoke that in gameplay. We wanted to have that sense, that sort of archetypal sense of wonder. So I'm going to show you a little piece of the game. I should mention that this is all student work in the lab, including the game engine. So in every level of the game, the boy who's in the hospital dreams that he can go up and fly with the clouds, and there are different objectives on each level. So in this one, you're just learning to make friends with the clouds and gather them up. And then later, you learn how to draw with the clouds. One of the design objectives with this game was to get players to slow down and to take care with the play. So if you actually move too fast, there's a fluid dynamics simulation underneath the clouds, and they'll begin to break away from you if you try to drag them too quickly. The enemy in the game is dark clouds, or so it seems at first. Traditional combat mechanic though. So as it turns out, the dark clouds are not all bad. In fact, when you combine your light clouds with the dark clouds, they make something magical happen. The rain that comes from the combination of the clouds will wash away the pollution. Later, in the final levels, you can even put out the volcano that's threatening this small island city with your rain-making ability. If you actually stack really high clouds and combine them, it will make thunder, lightning, and rain. So we released this game online, and it became something of an internet phenomenon back in 2006 when we released it. We had over a million downloads in the first 6 months. Got a lot of media coverage in both the traditional media and blogs all over the world. And we actually had to ask Electronic Arts to host it for us because first we broke the student servers that we had put it on. In the first week we had 10,000 downloads and we got a $5,000 bill from the service provider. And we said, So we put it on the school servers, and the schools came back and said, no, you're using too much bandwidth. And so we said, what will we do? And we asked Electronic Arts, and they very graciously put it on their server for us. We began to actually get fan mail right away from people who had played the game, and they started to write to us about how much it meant to them emotionally. So that's when we knew that we really achieved our goal of reaching that universal emotion. When people started to write us these letters about how the game made them feel. And what was interesting to me was that they were coming from people who didn't necessarily play traditional computer games. So we were tapping into what was essentially a new market of players, people who hadn't been spoken to by the commercial industry. This is, I don't know if I'm allowed to put that up here. The game, okay, so I'll take it off the screen now. But we got a range of feedback, and everything from sort of the independent game press to just individual users who wrote to us. And the team that had made that game had also been working on another game called Flow. Actually, Genova Chen is a designer who came out of the program, and we're working on a game called Flow as his thesis project. And based on the success of Cloud and also when he released Flow as a Shockwave game on the internet, it also got a lot of hits. And so based on those successes, we were able to actually take a team of our graduate students and get them a deal with Sony to produce a PlayStation 3 version of Flow. Does anybody play on PlayStation 3? Has anybody seen this game by any chance? So again, a couple of people. Good, well I feel like I'm showing you stuff you haven't seen, so that's actually very excellent. Flow is another experimental play game. And in this game you play a little microorganism, and it's an incredibly soothing environment. You eat and grow and evolve, and I'll actually just play a little bit because I think it's easier to understand by looking at it. This uses the motion controllers in the PlayStation 3, so you actually control the organism by moving. And in this game, there is no score, and there is no ultimate penalty. So if another creature who's larger than you eats you, you just pop back up to an earlier level, and you just work your way back down into the depths again. One of the notions of this is to evolve a form of gameplay that isn't so harsh in its leveling. So most games make us meet their expectations. And for many players, this is not a satisfying experience, that you have to beat this level in order to progress. So I think many people don't play games because they don't like that feeling of having to meet the expectations of the game. In this game, you choose at any time when you want to make the game harder, or you can also make it easier. You just, if you want to dive down, you eat the red pill, and you want to go back up, you eat the blue pill. The game actually won the Best Downloadable Game of last year at the Game Developers Choice Awards, and it was the top-selling downloadable game on the Sony PlayStation 3. And the team that actually made it has gone on and they're working on their next game, which I'll show you just a teeny little glimpse of. The game is called Flower, and in it you play